Hi friends, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel for a super casual, probably very chatty Friday bonus video. I had a whole different video planned for today where I show you my new vlog camera and unbox all of that and show you my vlog setup and everything like that. But I was looking through my past videos and I feel like everything lately has been so unboxy, and I just want to like hang out with you guys and talk about life and talk about what y'all want to talk about. And so I was like, I'm gonna push that. I'm gonna film an extra video this week so we can just hang out. So that's what we're doing today. I do want to say too, I don't know why I feel guilty about this. Nobody said anything about this and y'all have been so incredibly supportive, but I also don't know why I'm out of breath. Every time I say that, I get a couple pregnancy comments. I'm not pregnant, I promise. I, as you know, normally film 2 to 3 unsponsored video for every sponsored video, which I have been doing, but oftentimes sponsors will be like, great, okay, could you actually post this week or whatever? And I like have to move my whole calendar around. And I feel like there's been so many sponsored videos back to back, but I also have literally 12 completed videos just unpublished right now waiting to go live that mostly aren't sponsored. So I don't know, nobody said anything about it, and I've gotten so many sweet supportive comments, proud and excited for me to be doing these sponsorships with brands like I truly love. But just the schedule of how everything's been posted, I like have cringed a little bit. I'm like, there's been so many sponsored videos back to back and I have all of these awesome videos that I'm so excited to go live. Obviously, I'm proud and excited for my sponsored videos as well. I just feel like it's important to have diversity and like, you know, an equal amount of things. So that's another reason why my unboxing for my vlog setup was not sponsored, but since it was like another kind of producty video, I was like, okay, we really need to break things up and just hang out. So I asked on the community page what y'all want to talk about, and there's a lot of really good things. Honestly, some things that I haven't really addressed because they might be controversial in a way that, you know, I'm feeling very open today. So we're just gonna talk about all of it, whatever y'all wanna know. And I normally also ask on my Instagram, but there's been so many good comments that I love just on the YouTube community page alone that I didn't even ask on Instagram. So we're gonna go through those. All right, are you ready? Also, got a big boy matcha today. I will say too, obviously I filmed my vlog last week and that's coming out tomorrow as you see this. And in my vlog, I do give you a couple life updates about what I have found from my blood tests. So just to not, you know, say things too many times and be annoying, I'm going to not really address any of the health issues in this video because I already addressed that in the vlog coming out tomorrow. And I also talk about some Janse the Label changes, some hardships. Honestly, I'm a little nervous for that vlog to go live because I'm far too candid and transparent about why I made some changes to Janse the Label, and I'm a little bit nervous about the response to that, but I also trust you guys and love you guys. So I just always want to try to be open and honest with you even when it is scary. So that's coming out in tomorrow's vlog. And that was actually, I think the top liked comment is, how's the Janse the Label going? Any updates on when the next line will come out? And I also do give you a rough timeline in tomorrow's vlog. One sweet question that I've got a lot is, how are you doing honestly? And honestly, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I've gotten into the rhythm, if we're talking about life at home and working from home and quarantine and all of that. I finally found like a rhythm and a structure. So that's something that always really helps me. So in that regard, I'm doing really well. Obviously, y'all know I haven't been feeling great. So in that regard, I've had some really good days and some really bad days. Today, I'm feeling pretty good. I would say it's almost like every other day I'm either feeling really good or just like poop. So it's been 50-50 as far as how I'm feeling physically, but mentally and emotionally, I'm feeling pretty good. I definitely distract myself with work a lot, which I mean might not be healthy, but I enjoy it. Mentally and emotionally, I've been doing good. One question too that I saw that I do really want to address, because it's such an interesting question and it's a question that I get a lot. Do you feel like making YouTube your main job is pushing you toward burnout? Has a handful of likes and even a comment that says good question. It is a good question, and it's a question that I get super duper frequently. And in work, I don't feel burned out at all. I feel really excited. I have been pushing out a lot of content. I've been doing 4 videos a week here, and I've been doing, the last 3 weeks, I've done 1 IGTV a week over on my Instagram, which if you haven't seen that, it's literally just a shorter form YouTube video, but vertical. So I've been doing 5 videos a week, in addition to trying to do 1 blog post a week and trying to do 1 podcast a week. So So like I've been pushing out a lot of content, but surprisingly, I honestly don't feel burned out at all. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, Michelle, you're just gonna film this one video, but then I think of something else and I'm like, oh wait, I'm also gonna do this real quick because I just really want to do it. So in regards to work, though I do a lot, it's been really interesting. Like a little bit of backstory to me and my like personality style, work style. This is the first time in my life, I mean, besides being like in 3rd grade, that I have really had evenings off. The last few years, I've done exactly what I'm doing throughout the day, plus auditions almost every day, being volunteer staff at church, which is quite a few hours a week, which we're not doing right now because our church isn't meeting in person, and then going into my restaurant job at night. So I've been used to, you know, always on the move. And before that, in college, I did, you know, the exact same thing, working a restaurant job at night, content creating, and auditioning during the day while doing school online. I would wake up at like 6 a.m. and do school till like 10 a.m. before my auditions, come home, get some stuff done for my own brand, and then go into my restaurant job. So I was used to that. And then even in high school, I took all AP classes. I took some dual credit classes, which were college classes. I was in a performing arts school to where we would have rehearsal till 8 p.m. every single night. And I did summer school every single summer and graduated early. So like that's just what I've been used to. So I feel way more well rested than I ever have in my life, because now, yes, I do work normally Saturdays and Sundays as well, normally half days, but now for the first time in my life, after 6 p.m., I don't do any work. And it's been challenging for me to try to sit still and turn off my brain. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it's not healthy for me to enjoy working so much, and that's something I'm trying to work on, is forcing myself to rest. But like, I am truly happiest when I am busy. And so I don't feel burned out at all. I do feel a little bit more emotionally burned out when it comes to comments that I receive. I know that I receive far fewer negative comments than virtually anybody on the internet, which I'm so thankful for. And everybody watching this video, if you clicked on this video, you care enough to be a kind person, and you're not the ones leaving these comments. So I feel like I can candidly say this to you. But I mean, I probably get like 10 comments a day that, you know, make me bummed enough to delete them. And I do delete comments that make me upset. I mean, I've been open about that in the past. I feel like this is my house on the internet and I'm inviting everybody into my home to hang out. But if you disrespect me or anyone in my house, then that negative energy is not welcome here, so I will straight up delete a comment. And I do delete probably like 10-ish comments a day, which is not a lot. Like I said, I know that's not a lot, but 10 negative comments a day, even though it's not a lot, relatively speaking, for other content creators, like I can feel myself getting emotionally exhausted to the point to where it bothers me a little bit more and more every day. And I'm gonna be so honest here, the comments that are straight up just so mean, I sometimes don't even delete them because they're just funny to me, like, you're stupid, you can't even complete a sentence and your editing sucks, and why do you do this? Those I'm like, whatever. But the ones that are like, hey, I just thought you should know that, like, you know, the ones that are like phrased a little more kindly but are still mean comments are the ones that I'm like, ugh. And I mean, I'm trying, I've talked about this in the past, I'm trying to learn how people like navigate that. And I normally just try to delete and forget, but I have felt my like fuse get a little bit shorter, and I have started to replying to a couple comments as well because I feel the need to defend myself in some situations, which has been really interesting. Which I mean, the best way I can just explain that is maybe emotional burnout, just with like reading those types of things, but that comes with the territory and I'm completely aware of that. And so I always try to have a positive outlook. I actually had a comment in here be like, how do you have such a bubbly and positive outlook? And I honestly think that the delete mentality is huge. Physically deleting something that makes me feel negative emotions helps. It's like a physical way to tell my brain like, no, we're not thinking about that. Even though my brain will sometimes bring it up throughout the day, I'll be like, you deleted it, remember? We're not thinking about that. So that's been a huge part in helping my positivity and my optimism and just being a bubbly person. Also appreciating where I am in life. It's really easy for me to think about like what I want next and the next steps and my next goals and the next milestones I want to reach, but taking a step back and being like, oh my gosh, like, yes, like I would love to live in a 2-bedroom, but like, oh my gosh, we moved from a studio to a house that has a wall. Like, how cool is that? I am so thankful to have my own bedroom now in my house. Like, remembering where I am instead of where I want to go is really helpful for positivity and for optimism. And I know I don't talk about my faith a lot on this channel because I want this to be a safe space and I want to be friends with everyone regardless of their faith and of their beliefs. So because of that, I want people to know that I'm a Christian, and a reason that I have so much love and joy in my heart is because I'm a Christian, but at the same time, I don't want to like force my beliefs down people's throats, because regardless of what you believe, I want you to feel welcome here and not uncomfortable here. But like I said, if I'm answering this question honestly, a big part of the joy in my heart is being a Christian and is just knowing that Jesus loves me, so I don't have to find, even though it's hard, I don't have to find that approval from mankind. It's my instinct to want approval from mankind, but taking a step back and realizing that all that matters is that Jesus loves me, and because of that, I need to love other people is a great way to shift my perspective and to make me feel so much more optimistic and grateful and thankful and positive. So I hope that I feel like that answered like 4 comments at the same time, from burnout to optimism to, I even had some faith questions in here as well. Oh, this is kind of controversial, but I do want to be, I just want to be really open and honest with you guys. I had a couple comments, and I've gotten a lot of DMs lately about like, how do you stay so fit? How are you staying so in shape during quarantine and all this stuff? And I am about to talk about weight gain and body image, so if that's at all triggering, I completely understand. I recommend skipping forward 3-4 minutes to be safe in this video, or exiting out, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I do just want to let you know, because I feel like so many people pretend to be so perfect online. Y'all, I've gained like 12 pounds the last few months. I'm 5'7". I went from about 120 to about 132 just in the last few months. And I really think that that has a lot to do with me not really working out during quarantine. I haven't really much at all. I'll try to do little 15-minute home workouts, but to be honest, not having a gym to go to and it being so incredibly hot outside and living in an apartment with neighbors literally above, below, and on either side of me makes me not motivated to work out. And on top of that, not feeling very well has made me not want to move my body. Most days I feel pretty crummy and I just want to sleep. So I think all of those things combined, I'm just being honest with you here. Like, I know a lot of people's bodies are changing with this new lifestyle that we're all trying to adopt to, and that's totally normal, and mine has as well. And yes, sometimes I will look in the mirror and see those changes and be a little bit disappointed in them, if I'm being totally honest. But one really interesting thing I think about staying at home so much is not being physically around other people as much. I haven't compared myself to people as much. And in actuality, even though I've gained 12 pounds, my body confidence I think has overall gone up. Like I said, I definitely have those moments where I'm like, Michelle, you've definitely put on a noticeable amount of weight. But at the same time, I've really learned how impactful it is comparing myself to others, and how helpful it is to me to not compare myself to others, because I do think that my relationship with my current body image has been improved during this time. So I just wanted to be super transparent about that with y'all, because we're not, you know, all perfect and using this quarantine to get super toned, and a lot of us are all going through these changes with this whole new lifestyle, and I just want you to know that that's normal, and if you are going through those changes as well, you are not alone. So it's part of life. Our bodies will always fluctuate and change, but our bodies do so many cool, awesome things, so I appreciate and I love my body no matter what. And right now I'm trying to get my body internally healthy again, because it's obviously has something wrong with it, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. So I'm not going to work it too hard if it needs to rest right now, and that's what I'm doing. Let's do a couple lighthearted questions, and then there's one thing. I feel like this is going to be a long video. I'm feeling so chatty today. Then there's one thing I really want to address that I'm really nervous to address. Might be controversial, but I'm going to address it anyways. What are the things that you've enjoyed watching on Netflix during quarantine? We have loved, okay, Down to Earth, by far the best thing I've watched on Netflix during all of quarantine. It is Zac Efron's travel show. Not only is he just a beautiful human, he is so grounded and so down to earth, and it's hard to find that, I feel like, in Hollywood, just from the experiences I've had with people his caliber. A lot of people aren't that grounded, and it's so educational. It's like, I laughed, I cried, I love it. So that's been one of my favorite things. And then Brooke and I also watched Love on the Spectrum, which is just such a pure show. Like, I think everybody should watch both those two shows. It really opens your eyes to situations outside of ourselves, and they're both just like really heartwarming, heartfelt, everything to do with your heart shows. So I love both of those. Any fun married date night ideas that don't feel like a regular day of the week together? Brooke and I have loved doing different types of like cooking, like more assembly type cooking days together. Like for example, we set out all of these different stuffings this week to make our own spring rolls together, or, you know, build our own pizzas. Things like that that are a little bit creative, but also you can eat it afterward have been fun for us. And then we have had a couple date nights where we hang a sheet in our room and we have a projector. We got like $100 projector off Amazon and had like movie nights in our room. That's been fun because we never watch anything in our room. We only have one TV in our house. So those have been a couple fun out of the ordinary date nights. Someone wants to know what made you realize you have celiac disease. I have a whole video on that and I can link that down below. But as far as symptoms go, just real briefly, I had an ongoing fever for over a year that would sometimes go up to like 102, 103. I even had some internal bleeding in my stool. I was incredibly fatigued. I was constantly incredibly bloated. I just had like this hot feeling in my stomach all the time, and my stomach would stick out like I was, like, not over exaggerating, like I was 6 months pregnant, and I was losing weight pretty rapidly. So all of those together were kind of my primary symptoms, but symptoms for celiac are so weird and they change all the time. I even would randomly throw up a couple times. It's just weird. It's a weird disease, but I'll link that video down below if you want to hear more about it. I've been feeling down lately since I failed a really important exam. I want to ask, how do you constantly have confidence in yourself even when you're experiencing so many failed attempts on something? I totally get that. Acting, auditioning is literally just failed attempt after failed attempt. You go to 50 auditions for every one audition you book. And so you are told no 50 times for every one time you get work. So I totally understand that and I totally feel that. I tell myself that the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't getting it right on the first time, but it's just continuously showing up. Like when I do YouTube consultations, which I'm still doing those. I'm doing them less frequently because things have gotten busy, but when I do YouTube consultations for people just now starting off, I tell them the difference between you being successful on YouTube versus all the people that aren't successful is just continuing to put out content for the first 2 years, despite the fact you might not be seeing any growth, you might not be making any money. Pushing past that point is what will push you into the successful category versus the unsuccessful category. It's just showing up. So realizing that most people will not do things well the first time, especially on everything in life, has been really helpful to me to have confidence. This is already 20 minutes. Oh gosh, and I've been yakking so much that this probably won't be edited down much. So many good questions. When do you see yourself wanting to start a family? I actually did another video coming out soon testing my fertility on camera, and I talk about this a little bit more, but I thought with age I would feel more and more ready for kids over time, but with age I feel less and less ready for kids. I find more and more things that I want to do before I have kids. So as of right now, I don't think I really want to start trying till I'm 30, and I'm 23 right now. So it's gonna be a while. So if y'all want to see cute baby vlogs, you're gonna have to stay subscribed for a while. Stick around. I'd appreciate it. Okay, one really interesting question, and then this one has a lot of likes too. And then we'll talk about the one that I kind of don't want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about anyways. This one says, not a hateful comment, so I hope it doesn't come across that way, but how would you react if you had a baby with your natural nose? How would you explain your nose job to him or her? How would you help them navigate their adolescence before they could get a nose job themselves if they want one? First off, I think my natural nose wasn't bad. Honestly, I didn't change my nose a ton. I told my doctor that I just wanted a slightly less curved version of my natural nose, so my nose actually looks like my mom's nose now, which she has, you know, a slightly different version from my natural nose. So even though I didn't love my natural nose, I also want to just barely modify it, not get a whole new nose, if that makes sense. So I don't know if I would tell my child immediately. I feel like children don't oftentimes develop that self-consciousness super young. I think that, you know, once my child is older and if they were insecure about their nose, I'd be like, hey, I totally get it. Being insecure about something about your body is a normal part of life. And I was super insecure about my nose. And when I became 18, I decided to change my nose. But I didn't change it because I felt like that would change my self-worth. I did it as almost like a gift to myself to boost my self-confidence. I don't know if that's translating as I would like it to, but let them know that feeling insecure is totally normal, that if they ever did want to do anything to their body, change anything, that I would be supportive of it because otherwise it'd be hypocritical, but that their value is not rooted in their looks. Your self-worth is totally determined by how you feel on the inside. And if you need to do things to help you feel more confident confident on the inside, by all means go for it, but it's also not necessary to be worthy. I think that's how I would approach it. Obviously, I have plenty of years to think about exactly how I would do that, but I thought that was a very interesting question. Okay, this one question, I feel like it's gonna take me a while to explain. And this person, I wanna say, worded it very, very kindly, and I'll just read it first. She said, would you ever talk about politics / the 2020 election on your channel? I know you like to talk about taboo things, and I think that would make an interesting video. I am comfortable talking about everything except for politics. And this is the only time you will ever see me talk about politics, because I will explain to you why I don't like to talk about politics. I should start giving a background saying that I was raised in a small Texas town. So as you can imagine, it was overly conservative, like extreme conservative. Then I moved to LA, which is overly liberal, like extreme liberal. So growing up in one extreme environment and then moving to another extreme environment, I'm sure a lot of you have similar experiences, although I do know a lot of people end up, you know, staying in the area they were raised or whatever. But having those two absolute extremes in my life makes politics absolutely overwhelming and stressful for me. One thing that makes me really upset about politics is how when people are on one extreme side or the other extreme side, they have sometimes, not everybody, only the extremes, have legitimate hatred towards people that have differing beliefs. And anything that is rooted in hatred, I don't want to be super duper involved in. I ultimately feel like politics are very divisive. Is that the word I'm looking for? They create so much division and so much stress and so much like argumentative conversation that I want this channel to be a safe space. And yes, I do enjoy talking about taboo things that will improve us as people, like finances or like health or, you know, things like that. But something like politics has such extreme beliefs on either side that it can make people feel uncomfortable or unsafe. And me personally, like I said, having two extreme opinions in my life from so many people that are near and dear to me is very overwhelming. And I personally am trying my best to find unbiased information and to learn myself. And I feel like I am in the phase right now of trying to find this information and trying to learn myself and trying to develop my own opinions. And I feel like it's really important to have opinions on politics. And oftentimes I feel quite guilty for not having those opinions solidified. One thing that also makes me, you know, a little bit upset about people with extreme opinions on either side is the fact that they just are so sure that they are right about everything. And me as a person, I know that I don't know everything. And so because I don't know everything, I'm always willing to hear both sides to an argument, because I think that's really healthy and important. And a lot of times people don't want to hear the other side to an argument, which is honestly so stressful. All I know is that I just want to be a good human. Jesus tells us to love our neighbor, and I try to look at every argument or topic politically about how would this issue best show love to my neighbors and try to form my opinions off of that philosophy alone. And it's a very confusing world for me, so I don't feel comfortable sharing my thought processes going through those things to other people as I'm trying to navigate it myself. So I feel like this is controversial to say because anybody that does have a strong political belief might get mad at me for not having a strong political belief at the moment. But I'm just trying to figure it out, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out this world. It's a very confusing world. All I know is anything that feels so divisive and so rooted in controversy is nothing that I really want to bring onto this channel, because I do want this to be a spot to where, yes, we grow together and we learn together, but mostly that it's a lighthearted escape from all of the crazy stressful aspects of this world, where we can just hang out and be friends and like have that sleepover gals hanging out in their bedroom talking about life kind of vibe. Long story short, I just want everyone to feel welcome here, and I want everyone to feel good here. And I'm still trying to figure out what the heck politics are. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I rambled on way too long trying to justify how I'm feeling. Yeah, so that's the only time you'll ever hear me talk about politics. Yes, they are important. Yes, it's important to have strong beliefs. And yes, I'm fully aware that it's not great that I don't yet. And that's why I'm actively working on trying to create those strong beliefs for myself. And it's a process, but I promise you, I'm working on it. I promise you. Since we've just rambled on so long, I've had a lot of faith questions about how I've kept faith in Jesus as a center of my life right now during all of this. And like I said, I'm usually cautious about talking about it because I don't want it to feel exclusive on this channel any way, shape, or form. But I will say one interesting thing that I have learned during stay at home is how much I relied on community for my relationship with Jesus. Is oftentimes my relationship with Jesus would be scheduled and I would be held accountable, whether it be through Bible studies or a church has something called book clubs or small groups or church or all of these events with other people. That was what the majority of my relationship was built on. And so it's been eye-opening, to say the least, that now all of those things are gone. And so how do I make the time myself and hold myself accountable? One thing that I have found is super helpful is the Bible app has some really great devotional reading plans to where it has like, you know, like a 4-paragraph devotional and then like 3 or 4 verses to read through. And so all in all, it takes you 10 minutes max. And I've been trying to do that every day, as well as incorporate prayer more into my every moment. Prayer doesn't have to be formal, it's a conversation. So as I'm walking Max or doing the dishes or whatever, just trying to incorporate prayer into those moments and not feel weird about it has been one thing I've been working on being intentional about. And I'm gonna be honest, it's been hard not having church and not having a community around me to talk through things with. That's been super eye-opening. But we talked about a lot of really heavy stuff. A lot of really open, controversial things, from body image to burnout to negative comments to politics to faith. That was a lot. Thank you for letting me talk about those things. And I think with time, I feel more comfortable, though my platform is growing, I feel more comfortable talking about these things because, especially those of you that clicked on this video, I know that you are super kind, good friends that know what I'm saying and what I'm coming from is always coming from a very honest, vulnerable place in my heart. And I just want to share that with you because I hate when people pretend like everything is all good and everything all the time and don't take a moment to be open. I think being open is super important. So thank you. I love y'all. We're gonna end with one super funny question that says, do you have any special talents? And I think I showed this on a Q&A a while ago, but I do have one. Okay, so my shoulders dislocate very easily. Apparently this is a syndrome, it's genetic, I forget the name of it, but we have very odd shoulders in my family and I can completely do that. Yes, I have even dislocated my shoulder in my sleep before. I know. So there's my fun fact. There's a hidden talent of mine that some of you probably already know. Okay, I love y'all so much. Thank you for choosing to hang out with me as this Friday bonus video, and thank you for being supportive of all the videos that have been coming out lately. So many I'm so excited for have been pushed to like a month out, but I can't wait for them to come out. I hope you have the best rest of your day and a great weekend, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.